Hey, it's me, Bad Bee, I'm back. So, I have awesome news. Yesterday, I went to go see my oncologist. It was 10 days after I had my sentinel lymph node biopsy and retroareolar biopsy. So, I had to go get those results back. So, I was meant to see her at 11:20. Okay, so I was meant to see the breast surgeon at 10 to see how things were going. But then I ended up seeing my breast care nurse and she was like, how are things going? I was like, yeah, good. Your results aren't in yet. I was like, oh, damn. I was like, yeah, I'm a bit worried because I've been like trying to exercise. I've been getting sweaty and like, obviously I can't like wash under there and stuff. And she's like, oh, let me have a look. And then she's like, they haven't changed your dressing this whole time. No wonder you're feeling icky. And I was like, was I supposed to change it? She's like, no. And I was like, well, I didn't have any other appointments. So when would it have been changed? Anyway, I had that appointment right at 10. I was surprised it was on time. Then I was supposed to have my oncologist appointment at 11:20. But then because my first one didn't run long or wasn't late, they were like, we'll try to speed it up for you. I was like, heck yes. It ended up not being sped up. I waited there until like midday, but the nurse came out and told me at like 11:20, she's like, look, you know, the doctor is trying to get your results from the lab. So, you know, she's calling them. I was like, okay, cool. So she's like, you know, you may have to wait. I was like, oh yeah, no, all good. I'll just do my Duolingo. So I did. Then I go in there and she's like, yeah, so, you know, your results weren't in yet, but they've had 17 breast surgeries in 2 weeks, which is just unheard of. So the lab has been slammed. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no worries. I understand there's heaps of other women in this situation too, which sucks. But then she's like, yeah, so we got your reports from the lab. You've achieved PCR, which is a pathological complete response to chemotherapy, which means chemo worked and there was no trace of cancer in my sentinel lymph nodes or behind my nipple. So nips and nodes are clear. But anyway, I don't think it was ever in my lymph nodes because they did a fine needle biopsy in Japan, just like didn't send that shit over. And like, I didn't know how close it was to my nipple, but anyway, it means for my mastectomy, I get to keep my nipples. So then, you know, tits are going to be looking great. But yeah, it's the best possible outcome. And my onc said, you know, it actually is more likely that you wouldn't have PCR, that you wouldn't have achieved PCR than that you would have. So this is amazing. I was like, oh my God. And then afterwards, she's like, okay, so after surgery, we need to look at your hormone therapy. So there are a couple of options. There's tamoxifen, which is a pill that has been around for like 50 years, which I've obviously heard of. And then there's a combination of Zoladex, which is gosarelin, I don't know, plus exemestane. I don't know how to say these. But anyway, so there's like pill every day by itself or pill every day and monthly injection into your stomach fat. And she's like, it's a subcut needle. It's just like sweet, tiny baby subcut needle. She's just like, we can give you a local anesthetic. And I'm just like, holy shit. I went and I was just like, okay. She's like, so it just depends whether you want to have kids. I'm like, I'm not having kids ever. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm barren anyway with all the chemo. And then so she's like, okay, so because you're so young, there are different options and it would depend whether you've been close into menopause or not. And I was like, okay, what do you think? And she was like, I think it would be safer to go with the gosarelin or Zoladex and exemestane. And I was just like, okay, I guess I'll just do that. And she's like, but we don't have to worry about it till after surgery because it increases your chance of blood clots. And she's like, you know, economy cabin syndrome. And I was just like thinking in my head, like, okay, economy cabin syndrome, it's basically DVT, like deep vein thrombosis. But like, do you just like not get it in business? Anyway, I think I can use it as a way to get more business class flights. So my husband, well, then boyfriend at the time, he started off with one of the best airways. So we flew ahead. Anyway, that's a different story. I'll go into that later, maybe when I'm feeling good. Anyway, and you know, there's like all the menopause symptoms and whatever. And I was just like, okay, which one's going to make me fat? And she's like, look, people put on weight during chemo because they stop doing anything. Like, you know, you come and do treatment, you eat, you go to sleep. It's like people probably used to walk like 2 kilometers, but now they don't. I was like, yeah, I do less exercise. And she's like, yeah, you know, you just got to do you, but just keep trying to exercise where you can. I was like, okay. And then I was like, okay, what's gonna make me go bald? And she's like, neither. But obviously hair thinning is a side effect that could happen. Ugh. And then I was like, which one's gonna make me grow a beard? Because it's gonna put me into menopause. She's like, neither. I was like, okay, because like I heard when you go into menopause, you can kind of get like beard. She's like, don't even worry about that. I was like, okay. For the most part, I've been pretty lucky with side effects from chemo and stuff. So fingers crossed this stays the same. Anyway, I shouldn't have, but I Googled how big the needle is for Zoladex. It's massive because it's effectively a pellet that's inside the needle shaft. A little tiny pill that they inject into you. I'm so scared. I'm gonna need Ativan. I've asked before, I'm gonna need to get Ativan. And then local. Ugh. But otherwise, really good news. Can't believe I had a pathological complete response to chemo. Still waiting on my DMX and recon date. My breast care nurse said she had to talk to the plastic surgeon about it. Oh my God. And then, so after that, my onc dropped the bomb. She's like, oh yeah, so I won't be here next time you come in. And I was just like, yeah, no, cool. You going on a holiday? Like, what are you doing? And then she's like, I'm actually leaving. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, so I'm gonna go head the department at like a different hospital, which is an amazing hospital, probably one of the best hospitals in Melbourne. I was just like, oh, that's amazing for you. I'm so happy for you, but I'm gonna be so sad. I'm gonna miss you. She's like, don't worry, like, person who's replacing me is amazing, and I know you'll be looked after here. I'm like, I know, but so yeah, I love her so much, but my onc is leaving. Like, she's legit, so I'm pretty sad about that. But anyway, PCR, I was like, I gotta celebrate. This is awesome news. It's like the best possible news. So I decided to go get Macca's. I got a small cheeseburger meal with large fries and a small Coke Zero. It was delicious, but it was so annoying. So like, you can't order at the counter. You have to order in the stupid kiosk. You pay by card and it's always like printer error, which you think it doesn't go through. But luckily I checked my card. It did go through. They just didn't fill up the printer paper. It's absolutely ridiculous. Anyway, it was delicious. But then I also got, I didn't know this existed, but I got these McHappy Day socks. And they go to the Ronald McDonald House Charities. Like 100% of the proceeds go to Ronald McDonald House Charities, but they're so cute. I only discovered them because, so the person I buy nails off on Etsy, press on nails. I know they look super good, right? So cute. They're so me. Yeah, she had them on her Insta. I was just like, holy shit, I need to buy these. I wanted to get Uber Eats the other day or like McDelivery, but I live too far from a McDonald's, so it wouldn't happen. Amazing news. PCR, bitches. Now just waiting on surgery and just freaking out about Zoladex. Good times, sweetie. Anyway, stay tuned for more cancer things.